Advanced Heavy Cruiser Resolute Class Starship Review coming at you in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, Captains. It's time for another Starship Review. I'm very excited about this Starship Review today because this class, well, not exactly this class, but the type of ship that this is based off of, that dates all the way back to very early original Star Trek movies, has been one of my favorite cruisers in Star Trek Online since the inception of Star Trek Online. It all started with the very first Excelsior class starship, which is actually a Tier 3 starship in Star Trek Online. It is the Advanced Heavy Cruiser. You actually get this as you are leveling up. It is a cruiser choice. Of course, that's just a basic Tier 3 ship at that point. So it's not particularly a type of ship you would fly long term or at in-game. It's just a leveling up type ship. I had a lot of fun in that ship when I first played this game. Even though I went the science route, I did start a different character, a second character, which is actually this character you're looking at here, the Last Doctor. He is my engineering character. He was the second character I ever created in Star Trek Online, and I went down the cruiser route with him. And I chose the Advanced Heavy Cruiser for the first time on this character way back when the first year of the game existed. And I really enjoyed that cruiser. Unfortunately, I had to give it up because it wasn't an end-game ship at the time. Well, lo and behold, some time later, Cryptic released a retrofit version of it. And this was a Tier 5 version of the ship. The retrofit version is Tier 5, and that allowed players to go back and use that Excelsior class starship as an in-game ship at previous in-game Tier 5, before Tier 6 ships and all that. I bought this retrofit heavy cruiser. In fact, it was one of the first ships that I actually purchased in Star Trek Online. I think the very first ship I ever purchased was the Galaxy X, and then this was probably the second ship I ever purchased. It was either one of those. One of those was the first, one was the second. But it was right there at the beginning of the game. I enjoyed the crap out of the retrofit Advanced Heavy Cruiser. I played with it for a very long time part of this game. I did not change this ship on this character for a very long time. It was the only ship I used. I absolutely loved it. I raved about it. It was my favorite ship in the game. Now, that was before I did YouTube videos for the game. That was before I started checking out other ships and reviewing other ships. But when that retrofit Advanced Heavy Cruiser came out, I was all over that thing, and I really enjoyed it. Well, so you must imagine the surprise on my face when I heard they were going to make a Tier 6 version of the ship, now called the Resolute class. Yeah, they took it and made it, I guess, updated for now current in-game Tier 6. I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I didn't think they would do it. But they did. And we now have a Tier 6. Basically, it's a Tier 6 Excelsior. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Yeah, they call it the Resolute class, but it's a Tier 6 Excelsior. It's an Excelsior for people who want an Excelsior at current in-game level with all the Tier 6 perks. That's basically it. So before we actually jump into this Tier 6 version of the Excelsior, let's jump back just a tiny bit and look at what the retrofit is like. Because the retrofit is what a lot of people who are a fan of this ship would have been playing for so long now at in-game and are questioning if maybe they want to upgrade to the Tier 6 Resolute. So what we'll do is we'll look at what the specs are on the retrofit version Tier 5, and then we'll go look at the specs on the new Tier 6 and see what makes it different. That way you'll know if you want to upgrade or not. So we'll come down here to find it somewhere under Tier 5. Probably toward the bottom. Let's see. There it is. Excelsior Cruiser Retrofit is what they called it. So we'll just read a little bit about this. Remember, again, this is just the Tier 5 retrofit. This one has been in the game for a very long time. This was my most favorite ship forever. First launched in the late 23rd century, the Excelsior is one of the most distinctive ship classes in the fleet. Its transwarp drive was Starfleet's great experiment in the 2280s. The advanced heavy cruiser retrofit comes with an upgraded design, and its advanced transwarp drive allows you to instantly travel to 10 locations in the Alpha and Beta Quadrant at no cost. Minimum rank is Rear Admiral. Crew of 750, 4 foreweapons, 4 aft, 4 device slots. 1 Lieutenant Commander Tactical, 1 Commander Engineering, 1 Lieutenant Engineering, 1 Ensign Engineering, 1 Lieutenant Science. So a ton of engineering seating. It has a Commander Engineering Bridge Officer seating, so this is definitely slanted toward an engineering character, a cruiser type character. Console upgrades, it's got 3 Tactical, 2 Science, 4 Engineering, so leans very heavy to engineering. Turn rate, 8 degrees per second. It's not the fastest turning ship in the world, but it's alright. Impulse modifier, 0.15. It is a cruiser after all. Hull strength, 39,000. Of course, that's not a lot now, but back then that was pretty good. Plus 5 power to all subsystems, advanced transwarp drive, cruiser communications array. During the first launch of this ship, the cruiser communication arrays didn't exist yet. That was a later addition they added to cruisers. So now, if you get the advanced heavy cruiser retrofit, you do get the strategic maneuvering, shield frequency modulation, weapon system efficiency, and attract fire communication array abilities for cruisers. So that's basically the Z-Store or retrofit version of the ship, Tier 5. So that's what a lot of people would have, and now we'll go look at the Tier 6 version and see what it upgrades on top of that. But as you can see, that's the design for it there. That's the retrofit design for it. It's just a little bit different than the Tier 3 design. But if you bought the retrofit version, you do get to exchange parts with the Tier 3 version of the ship. So anyway, that's it. That was the Tier 5 version. Again, one of my favorite ships. No command seating or pilot seating or intelligence seating, of course. This was way before any of that. So just standard bridge officer seating. No masteries or anything like that. So just pretty standard ship, but at previous to the whole level rise and everything, this was a really good in-game ship. Okay, now let's take a look at the new thing, the Tier 6 version, the Resolute, as it's called. Somewhere. Eclipse, Guardian, Phantom Scryer. No, there it is, Resolute. Okay, so first, right off the bat, when you look at the pictures, you can see the visual clues from the original Excelsior here. You can see the very large nacelles. I mean, that is a huge part of the original one, is that it had really long nacelles and a small saucer section. So this has really big nacelles and a small saucer section, except the saucer isn't circular, it's more ovally triangle-ish. It's almost like an oval, but almost like a triangle. It's like a combination of an oval and a triangle. More kind of similar to, I guess, maybe the Intrepid in a way, but a little smaller. So they've kept the traditional design. When you look at it head on like that, you can see the nacelles being really extended, really long there. And that is that classic Excelsior feel to it. So it still has those design elements from the original Excelsior, but it looks like what a modern day Excelsior would look like, which is what it is. It's a Tier 6 Excelsior. And definitely this area here, really reminiscent of the Excelsior, and the way the deflector dish is designed and all of that down here, really reminiscent. So they were able to keep the same lines and design, but yet update it to look modern, which I think they did a great job on this design. Some of the ships have been wonky. We know some of the Intel ships look kind of weird, but whoever designed this ship, the Resolute here, they did a really good job connecting it to the original Excelsior design. You can see it. When you look at it, you think, yeah, it's a modern Excelsior. That's what I see when I look at it. So they did a good job on the design. Okay, let's read about it now. The Tier 6 Resolute class Advanced Heavy Cruiser was inspired by the classic design of the Excelsior class Advanced Heavy Cruiser. This modified Advanced Heavy Cruiser has been completely updated to the latest standards of Starfleet engineering. This starship features a Lieutenant Commander Engineering / Command Specialist seat, so you can have command powers on this thing. The Advanced Heavy Cruiser Tier 6 comes with an advanced transwarp drive, which allows you to instantly travel to 10 locations in the Alpha and Beta Quadrant at no cost. The Advanced Heavy Cruiser Tier 6 comes equipped with the Tactical Maneuvering Matrix Universal Console. The Tactical Maneuvering Matrix makes an Advanced Heavy Cruiser even more durable and maneuverable. When activated, Pursuit Mode uses complex predictive algorithms and specialized inertia-less maneuvering thrusters to improve the ship's speed, turn rate, and damage resistance, and the amount increases with the number of enemies in combat range. Additionally, your directed energy weapons will cripple your target's engines and maneuvering thrusters for a short time. This will dramatically reduce their turn rate and speed. This console provides a passive bonus to turn rate, speed, and damage resistance. The console can be equipped only on advanced cruisers in any console slot. You may only equip one of these mods. Upon achieving level 5 in the Advanced Heavy Cruiser Tier 6 Starship Mastery, you will unlock the improved Weaponized Emitters Starship trait. While this starship trait is slotted, your Aceton Beam and Overwhelm Emitters abilities now add radiation damage over time to the target. This affects other enemies within 3 kilometers of the target and causes damage every second for 15 seconds. So the interesting thing about that ability is that it only works on 2 types of powers. Bridge officer powers, either the Aceton Beam or the Overwhelm Emitters. And Overwhelm Emitters is a command bridge officer power. So you will have to have at least one of those bridge officer powers active in order for that trait to actually do its thing, which is add radiation damage over time. But I do have one of those abilities enabled. In fact, I've got Overwhelm Emitters, so I will be able to show you how that mastery trait works. So the hull strength starts at, first of all, it's a Vice Admiral ship, so you gotta be Vice Admiral. It's a Tier 6 ship. Hull strength starts at 44,850 at level 50 and goes to 52,000 at level 60, so much, much better than the Tier 5 version was. Shield modifier of 1, it even has a higher shield modifier. So I'm just looking on a different screen here, but I can compare these for you. The hull strength on the Tier 5 retrofit was 39,000. So here we go with the Tier 6 version that starts out at 44,000 hull and then goes to 52,000. So basically 40,000 versus 52,000 at max hull on that. So a pretty big difference on hull strength. And then the shield modifier was 1, and it still is 1, so that's actually the same. I take that back. So shield modifier is the same. Crew is the same at 750. Same weapon slots, 4 in the front, 4 in the back. So nothing there changes. But of course the bridge officers change. We have 1 Lieutenant Commander Tactical. And I believe if I'm looking at this chart right, we also had 1 Lieutenant... No, we had 1 Lieutenant Tactical, didn't we? Yes, we only had 1 Lieutenant. Wait a minute. That's no, that's Commander. Wait, Ensign, Lieutenant Commander. Where's Commander then? I'm looking at this wrong apparently. Well, maybe I'm right. I don't know. Now I'm confused. 1 Lieutenant Commander Tactical on this one. I don't remember what it was on the other one. I guess it's Lieutenant Commander. Maybe. Yeah, I think that is Lieutenant Commander. Okay, 1 Ensign Engineering. That also had an Ensign Engineering. 1 Lieutenant Commander Engineering. That also had a Lieutenant Commander Engineering, but this also has a Lieutenant Commander Command slot. Oh, there's my phone. It always seems to ring when I'm making these videos. 1 Commander Engineering. That still had a Commander Engineering as well. 1 Lieutenant Science, and that had a Lieutenant... Okay, yeah, Lieutenant Science. Wait just 1 second. I want my phone. I can't get up, but there we go. Okay, it's over. Okay, so if that was confusing, I know I was a little confused at the beginning. Okay, so this has 1 Lieutenant Science on the Tier 6 version, and it also had 1 Lieutenant Science on the Tier 5 retrofit version. And going back to that very first one, 1 Lieutenant Commander Tactical. Yes, it was a Lieutenant Commander Tactical on that one, on the other one. So basically we have those two are the same, and then we have Ensign Engineering, Lieutenant Commander Engineering. So it gained and it went from it was an ensign and then a lieutenant engineering. This has a Lieutenant Commander Engineering and a Commander Engineering. And that Lieutenant Commander can be a command. Sounds confusing, but basically it is only slightly different. It gives you a little bit more in the engineering bridge officer slot, and then the option to use command bridge officer powers. So not real different in the bridge officer area, but just slightly different. Just enough to give you like a little bit of an engineering advantage on bridge officer powers, basically. Okay, and then consoles, very different. Well, not real, but yeah, okay. Wow, okay, basically it adds an extra console. So 3 tactical on the Tier 5 version, and 3 tactical on the Tier 6, and then 5 engineering on the Tier 6, and it was 4 on Tier 5. So we gain 1 engineering slot, 1 engineering console, and then still 2 science. So this is not a science ship by any means. Still 8 degrees per second. Turn rate, that's exactly the same. Impulse modifiers 0.15 is exactly the same. Friction or traction is 40, which is basically inertia, and it was also 40 on the other one. That's exactly the same. Plus 5 to all power levels is exactly the same. So really there's not a whole lot of difference here, except the hull strength is better, and it has command possible power and a little bit higher engineering slot, Lieutenant Commander Engineering versus Lieutenant Engineering on the other one. And then of course you have the ability package, which is basically the mastery, all 5 masteries, which Tier 5 of course doesn't have. That's absorptive plating, rapid repairs, enhanced plating, armored hull, improved weaponized emitters, which is a starship trait, and then the cruiser command arrays. You get all of those as well. So that's what makes it different. You're going to get a higher hull strength on the Tier 6 ship. You are going to get 1 extra engineering console slot. You are going to get a little bit of a higher engineering bridge officer seating, and you're going to get the ability to use command bridge officers, and you're going to get 5 starship masteries, and that 5th one is a starship traits. So that is what makes it different, and of course the unique console, which gives it a unique ability. The Tier 5 retrofit did not have a unique console, no unique ability there, except for that transwarp ability, which is built into both ships. But basically now you get that console, that matrix thing, whatever it was, and how that can be used. So that is what separates the Tier 6 version from the Tier 5 version, if any of that made sense. At this point, what I'm going to do is let's go check out how we can customize this ship visually. Then I'll show you my build, show you what gear I'm using, and then we'll take it into combat, and I will try to demonstrate all of its abilities for you all. So let us customize the ship. Go to Customize Starship. So here is the Resolute. This is what it looks like by default. Pretty cool looking. We can go back and forth. Here's the Excelsior. This is the Tier 3 version. Okay, this is what you would get at Tier 3. And then here's the Retrofit. Basically it changes the impulse engines back here, it adds something down here, kind of separates it a little, adds these fins up here on the top. See those fins up there? Not major changes, but very minor on the Retrofit. You can see the differences there. So the Retrofit is very minor visual changes, which just kind of makes it look a little bit beefier. But big changes on the Resolute. Yeah. So there to there. But you can see, like if you do this view, you can see how long the nacelles are here compared to the smaller kind of circle-ish saucer up here, and it's the same on the Resolute. Very long nacelles that go way back, and then a smaller saucer. That's actually now not a circle anymore. But the front of it is really iconic. I mean, we go Excelsior, Resolute. You can see down here in this area that how similar it is. And like this up here. So you can see it keeps the same shape. It looks like it's a little bigger though. Overall, the ship looks to be a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger. The nacelles are fatter, and because of the elongated saucer part, the saucer part makes it look a little longer. And the nacelles stick out farther in the back too as well. So it's a little longer, it looks like, a little bigger, a little fatter, but definitely keeps that same overall look to it. So I love that. Of course, there is no specific interior to it, so you're just stuck with the origin interior or whatever interior you want. Nothing specific to the ship, nothing unique. That's unfortunate. They seem to have slacked off on unique bridges lately. You can change the window type. You can change the material. Of course, type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you have an upgrade skin, you'll have that, or if you're a veteran, you'll have that. I like the upgrade look to it, honestly. I think that's what I have turned on in space right now. That look in space is actually really good. You can attach a pattern to it, of course. Now, if you have the retrofit version, you'll be able to exchange different parts on it. So, like if you want the Resolute nacelles, or if you want the retrofit alpha or Excelsior retrofit or alpha Excelsior, you got Excelsior alpha, Excelsior retrofit, or retrofit alpha. Different kind of styles of nacelles. Obviously the Resolute's the most unique one. You could put the old Excelsior neck on it if you want. That looks really terrible, but you could do it. The pylons, I mean, you could really change the look. Do that and they're really like straight up and they're not angled. That's interesting. The saucer, you can go back and do anything there too you want. That's cool. And then the hull, kind of change that as well. So you could make some unique designs here if you had all three versions of it. So I'm going to leave it what I already have, because I've got I like the design I have. I'm using the upgrade skin in space, which looks really nice. Alright, at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the build for my ship. Now I am on the Last Doctor. He is my engineering character, so engineering / cruiser build. This is where I put all my cruisers basically. I'm going to bring up my build. Now again, there's a million different ways you can build. My way is not the right way or the wrong way. My way is just my way, and your way is your way. And I'm sure people can make better builds, and I'm sure people can make worse builds. My build right now is working for me, and that is my disclaimer, so don't get mad if you don't like my build. If you don't like it, go make your own build. But here's what I have. I've got anti-proton weapons, because this character is pretty much geared out for anti-proton stuff. I've already got all his stuff really upgraded. For example, I'm using Advanced Fleet anti-proton beam arrays, ultra rare quality. I've got an Advanced Fleet dual anti-proton beam bank, ultra rare quality. Same in the back. I am using the neutronic torpedo, but I got this thing upgraded to Mark 14 ultra rare, so I mean it's a heck of a neutronic torpedo. I even have the ancient omnidirectional anti-proton beam upgraded to Mark 14 ultra rare, and the kinetic cutting beam upgraded to Mark 14 ultra rare. So see, I spent a lot of resources upgrading all my equipment on this character, so I'm very much locked into anti-proton weaponry, but it works really good on this ship. I am using the Soul Defense system. I'm using the Soul Defense Deflector upgraded to Mark 14 and the Soul Defense Impulse Engine, and then I have upgraded the Soul Defense Covariant Shield to Epic Mark 14, so that's as high as it can go, and I am getting the best shield capacity out of that, and all the other things that it has. Reduces all energy damage to shields by 10%, and I'm getting the 2 and 3 piece bonus from this, which is a plus 35 kinetic damage resistance rating, plus 25 all energy damage resistance, and then I'm getting this discharge repair nanites ability, which gives me an area of effect heal. Basically, I can heal myself and allies around me and give them a massive whole heal and stuff. So that is just an ability of the Soul Defense set, not of this particular ship, so I'll show you that, but again, that's because of my gear set. You could put a completely different gear set on here, of course, and get different abilities, just depending on whatever you put on here. I do not have any Terran pieces yet, so I haven't had a chance to play with any of the Terran sets, Terran Reputation, but I'm working on that. So eventually I will have some Terran Reputation pieces to play with, and we'll see how that works. I've heard that the pieces can be really good on a torp boat if you're doing like a side torp boat or something like that. Having the the Terran weapon pieces can really get your DPS up, from what I hear. But again, that's just something I don't have right now to try out. And the Iconian set is not really the best thing for a cruiser. I find it better on an escort. So there are dogs barking outside, driving me crazy right now. Wow, they are really loud. That is nuts. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but that was crazy. Okay. Anyway, so I like the Soul Defense set on a cruiser. Man, I don't know what is going on out there. It's like a war. It's a war of the dogs. That's messing me up right now. Okay, back to this if I can here. Yeah, the Soul Defense set is, I think, pretty good for a cruiser. Of course, you could try different sets, of course. Anything for tanking. I wanted to kind of build this ship as a tanking ship. I'm sorry, guys, if you can hear that, that's got to be annoying. It's very annoying for me trying to communicate right now. I'm going to pause the video until that stops, because that's driving me crazy. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. That was nuts. Alright, let's continue. As I was saying, the Soul Defense set I find is a very good set. That's basically what I was trying to say. As for my warp core, I am using the Elite Fleet Plasma Integrated Warp Core with AMP on it, weapons to auxiliary to give me extra damage and all that goodies stuff. I do have the Universal Simulated Module on. I'm getting that 2-piece bonus with the kinetic cutting beam called Omega Weapon Amplifier. That is also upgraded to Mark 14 Ultra Rare. I've got my EPS upgraded to Mark 14 Ultra Rare, and I even have an Epic now Engineering Enhanced Neutronium Alloy with whole HP, so kinetic and all energy damage resistance and improved ship hit points. The whole idea of this build is that it's a cruiser, it's an Excelsior, and I wanted to build it to be kind of a tanking ship, but also a tanking ship that can still do damage, naturally. I'll go over these other consoles here in a second. I'm doing the Bioneural Gel Pack in combination with the Neutronic Torpedo is giving me efficient biocircuitry. So that is a extra radiation damage. Remember, the Starship trait on this ship is adding radiation damage to Overwhelm Emitters and Aceton Beam. So if I can have an ability that buffs radiation damage, such as this efficient biocircuitry, I am getting more radiation damage out of my starship trait. Ta-da! See how that works. Also a 20% cooldown reduction to the neutronic torpedo with that 2-piece set. And then this console itself is pretty good anyway. Plus 2.4 power to all subsystems, improved shield hit points. So my shield hit points will be pretty good, and a 7% cooldown reduction on bridge officer abilities. I've also got the Temporal Disentanglement Suite Mark 14 Ultra Rare on here. It's increasing my auxiliary power, increasing shield capacity, and increasing critical chance and critical severity on this ship. And that's based on your auxiliary power. So anything to increase my auxiliary power, such as my warp core and the console itself here, is going to get my critical chance and severity and all of that going higher. And damage as well. So that's all good. Reduces damage to shields by 3% as well. Then I maxed out my TAC consoles with epic level anti-protons, all critical chance, so that I can do more critical hits. That's basically my build, and I think it's awesome. It works. Okay, now for the consoles. The first one is the one that actually comes with this ship. This is the Console Universal Tactical Maneuvering Matrix. This is a plus turn, speed, damage, and damage resistance higher when more enemies nearby console. So the more enemies you have, the more of an effect it will have. The less enemies, the less of an effect. But it will do a kinetic damage resistance and all energy damage resistance, plus 15% flight speed and turn rate just by having it on your ship. So it buffs all of that just by having it on. Those are the passive buffs. But the things you have to activate is what's called pursuit mode. Yeah, if you're thinking super pursuit mode, Knight Rider, so am I. Because that's the first thing I thought when I saw it. Pursuit mode, this thing's got super pursuit mode. Kit, hit super pursuit mode. We're going to go 1,000,000 miles an hour. Okay, it doesn't quite work like that, but it would be cool if it had some kind of animation where like it went into super pursuit mode like Kit always did. That would be fun. But anyway, what this does is to self, it will give you all damage, so it increases your damage based on the number of targets. It will give you an all damage resistance. It will give you flight speed and flight turn rate. And to foe, it will decrease their speed and turn rate. Basically, that's what it does. Now, when I've activated this, I don't really notice much of a flight turn rate or speed increase when I use it, maybe slightly. But that is really just based on how many enemies are around you. The more you have, the better it will work. But its other ability to your foe, to your enemy, is to basically to slow them down, is what it does. So it's not a huge ability. That's like it's not game breaking. It's not going to make you win everything, but it is pretty cool anyway. Now, it is part of a set called Hot Pursuit. Yeah, Hot Pursuit. they've definitely are getting the all their themes in there on this pursuit mode thing. Hot Pursuit. So in order to have the 2-piece called Hot Pursuit, you need to have this thing, which comes with this ship, and you also need to have the transwarp computer to go in line with that. Now, where do you get the transwarp computer? This comes from, I think, the Tier 3 version now, or the retrofit. It's one of those versions. I forget actually where I got it. The Transwarp Drive computer was Starfleet's great experiment in the 2280s. This console offers a passive bonus to Starship Warp Core Efficiency stat, which scales with level. The Transwarp computer also reduces the recharge time of all Transwarp travel abilities. This console mod can be equipped on any ship in any console slot. You may only equip one of these mods on any ship. I think it came with a Tier 3 version, I want to say. But when you have it combined with the console from this ship, you get plus 15% directed energy weapon damage and a 10% recharge time on all bridge officers. So it's very much worth it, because flat out you get a 15% more weapon damage with that combination. Then when you add in the pursuit mode's ability to increase your all damage based on how many enemies are around you, you can increase your all damage even more. So it's very beneficial to have. It's called the Transwarp computer, and I do believe it's the Tier 3 version of the Excelsior, so you've got to claim the Tier 3 version of this ship. If not, then it's the retrofit, but I don't think it's the retrofit version. I think it is the tier 3 version. But that is what you have to do to get it. And then you put them together and you get that hot pursuit mode. So I do have that to demonstrate basically that ability of having more damage and then a reduction on bridge officer abilities. So those together work really well. So I've got everything I can do on this ship pretty much, just about. And then of course we have the starship masteries. I'm not going to go over them right here. I'll do it in space so that they show the real numbers. And in fact, let's do that. Let's go to space. And let's look at the stats on this thing before we take it into battle. And I can show you all these abilities. I should probably also turn off all the traits except the last one. Let me see if I can do that. I'll leave predictive algorithms on because that's battle ready. So yeah, improved weapon emitter. So I'll turn that off and then back on. There we go. Okay. Improved weaponized emitters. Okay, so now the only starship trait that I have on right now is the one that comes with the ship. The predictive algorithms is of course an intelligence specialization that you can gain, but it's not specific with any ship. You can have it on every single ship. So that's why I'm going to leave it on. But all the other ones came with different ships that you guys would probably not have. So I turned all those off. Okay, so now let's show you what this thing is. Let me get out here into space, get away from ESD and everything. And I'll show you guys what this thing is all about. First of all, we can take a look at how it looks again. I got the upgrade skin on, so you can see what that looks like. I love the look of that skin. I think it looks great. I think the ship looks great. It's got very good detail to it. It's shaped well. I mean, it feels good when you're flying it. It feels like a starship. But here's my turn rate, so I'll keep the camera still. There's how it turns. Again, it's a cruiser, so you would expect it to be a slow turn rate. That's why you want to go with beams and all that stuff. So yeah, it's gonna turn kind of slow. Of course, you can speed that up. I mean, that all just depends on whatever, you know, buffs or abilities you have going as well, or consoles. You can put an RCS on it. You can do other things, of course. But that's the turn rate on it. My power is 125 weapons, 87 shield, 56 engine, and 75 aux. The aux is pretty high on this, but that's for a reason. That's because increasing my aux gives me more damage. For example, in the trait of the Nukara offensive, I am getting plus 3.8% all damage, because that's based on auxiliary level. So the higher the auxiliary, more damage I get off of that ability. I also have the defense one, so I get more defense based on my auxiliary as well. But because of the disentanglement suite based on auxiliary, I also get a higher critical chance and critical severity based on my auxiliary power. The weapons to auxiliary on this is increasing my auxiliary, so that's where some of my auxiliary power is coming from. Let's look at the masteries here. The first mastery that unlocks on this ship is a physical damage resistant rating and a kinetic damage resistant rating. The second one is a hull regeneration. Regenerates 1,073 hull, 1.25% of your current max every 3 seconds in space, twice the amount out of combat, so a hull regeneration. The third one is an all energy and a radiation damage resistance. The fourth one is more hull hit points. And then, of course, the improved weaponized emitters. To target within 3 kilometers, you do 282.7 radiation damage per second for 15 seconds, ignore shields. But you have to use it with either aceton beam or overwhelm emitters. 750 crew recovery rate 50% a minute, alive crew 750, stealth detection 30.21, power transfer rate 271, bonus defense 59.3. My hull is 85,836, so pretty good. My hull repair rate 225 a minute, very high. My shield Even though I got two things increasing my shield capacity, my shield strength is only 15.2. This does not have a very high shield modifier. It's not a science ship. It's only got a shield modifier of 1. So there's that. Plus, this isn't exactly the highest capacity shield in the game. There are higher capacitor shields in the game that will give you a higher capacity. But still, it's not terrible. It's pretty good for our purposes today. But this is really cool. I've got a 60% like resist on everything. Incredible. My crit severity is pretty alright. My crit chance is above 10%, which is great. Bonus accuracy is almost 30%. Turn rate is 14.2 degrees per second currently. Remember, it's 8 by default. So that's pretty much it. I didn't show you the stations, did I? Just for demonstration purposes. I've got Fire at Will 3, Torpedo High Yield 2, TAC Team 1. I do have command abilities. I've got Suppression Barrage and Overwhelm Emitters. I'll show you that. So here's the Overwhelm Emitters. This is where the radiation one works with for the Starship trait. Targets foe, 180 targeting arc, 10 kilometer range, 38.5 second recharge. All energy damage to marked foe triggers to allies 10% damage as shield regeneration, to foe 10% of damage as shield drain. That's basically what Overwhelm Emitters does. And then with the trait, it'll add radiation damage. I have flown far, far away from where I need to be. Also, my phone is ringing again. I also have Suppression Barrage. It's another command ability. Very cool. Enhances your weapons to suppress foes. Flight speed, turn rate, and accuracy debuff. It's a great ability. I'll show you that in action. That's a command ability, and you can do that with this starship because you can have a Lieutenant Commander command abilities, which is really nice. So you can have full commander engineering, but you don't miss out. You get to have Lieutenant Commander command abilities with the ship. Basically just like a command ship. So that is really cool. Don't forget that. That's a big thing about this ship, is the ability to use, command bridge officer abilities that you would not get to use on other standard ships and stuff. So here is the Suppression Barrage. That's what that looks like. I can't show you what the Overwhelm Emitters is until we're in battle. But again, that works with the radiation damage. You can see right there, 282.7 radiation damage per second for 15 seconds. And that is because of the trait I have enabled that came with this ship, Improved Weaponized Emitters. Only works with Aceton Beam or Overwhelm Emitters. The other ability, of course, is the console, the Pursuit mode. This one here, Console Universal Tactical Maneuvering Matrix. And here's the button for it here. As you can see, that's what it does. And when I hit it, it looks like that. So it just kind of makes my engines glow orange, yellow, orange. And again, it will only really do its thing and show an improvement when I have a lot of enemies around me. Otherwise, really, really not. What else do I have? This is with the Soul Defense System. This is the Discharge Repair Nanites, does that. So really the things to look for here, the unique things that come with this ship that I will show you, is the radiation damage added to Overwhelm Emitters. I'll use that specifically and show you when that's being used. I will show you when I do the Pursuit mode, because that's the unique console that comes with this ship. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Those are the two unique things that come with this ship, other than having 5 engineering console slots, higher hull strength, and all the masteries that come with a tier 6 ship and all that. So that's what I got. That's what I'll do. We will of course do as many things as I can. I don't know if I'll do an ISA or not. I may. Hey, let's do a GGA. Hey, let's do it right now. I'm just doing this on the seat of my pants, but I just saw that there as I brought this up, so hey, that'd be perfect to start this out with. So let's do that. Let's do a GGA. That would be a great way to show off the abilities of this ship. A nice long STF. Be perfect. And since we're doing a GGA, Gateway to Grethor, we won't do ISA. Kind of unnecessary anyway. It's hard to see stuff in that anyway. So this will be a good test. I think this happened on the last ship review where I just got into one really fast. Definitely helps when you can. Yeah, this will be a good showing of this ship. This will be fun. Here we go. Gateway to Grethor. Advanced. Loading map. Boy, that takes forever. Sometimes. Everything else is just based on my bridge officer abilities, so I mean there's no point in going over like all of my specific powers. I mean those are just standard bridge officer abilities. The two command powers again are suppression, barrage, and overwhelm emitters. Those are the two abilities I have. Two command abilities I have. Again, the radiation damage one works with overwhelm emitters, and then of course pursuit mode whenever I want to use that. And I've turned off all my other starship traits, so all I have is predictive algorithms. Everything else is turned off. Usually I have all the other buffs from other ships I've had, but we won't do that right now. So like if people are around me like this, the discharge repair nanites heals everybody around me. So if people get damaged or whatever and they're all around me, I can do that. That of course is the soul defense system set, but basically an AoE heal. Pretty cool. You can really help out a lot of people with that. It's a pretty big heal. And off we go. So I did overwhelm emitters, and it is doing what it needs to do.
Four shields failing. Target shield has failed. Right shield failing.
I'm going to hit pursuit mode. There we go. Pursuit mode is active.
Herald reinforcements are inbound.
Four shields failing.
Well, that one got away.
Below 75%. Left shield failing. Left shield failing.
Come on. Oh my,
The shipyard is secure.
I think my ally died.
Hull integrity below 50%. Right shield failing. Hull integrity below 25%. Right shield failing.
starbase is secure.
Okay.
The troop. The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target
Those
shield.
gateways are emitting intense levels of beta radiation. Close them.
So you closing that radiation gate or not? Yes, good.
Target shield has failed.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet. The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Target shield has failed.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Target shield has failed.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Hull integrity below 75%. Target shield has failed.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet. The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
There's the radiation damage. See all that red radiation damage there? That cloudy stuff? That's the radiation damage from the overwhelm emitters. from the trait that's working with the overwhelm emitters.
Right shield's failing.
The troop transports from the starbase are moving toward the planet.
Target shield has failed.
Hey, I cleared my whole area. My area's clear.
The troop
That rarely
transports from the
happens.
starbase are moving toward the planet.
Target shield has failed.
Cool. Yay. Alright. That was fun. Next.
A herald.
Here we go. Time for the Herald Forces.
Ship is under attack.
Herald ships are attacking the starbase.
Wow, we missed the time limit.
All integrity below 75%. Target's shields have failed.
Okay. Must be a low DPS team. Which I'm surprised of because we got two
Our troops have...
scimitars. But yeah, it must be a low DPS team. Oh well. Not too terrible. That's pretty good anyway. We managed everything except the end timer. Anyway, the whole point of that was to show you guys the potential of this starship and what it can do and its powers and how they work. So hopefully in that STF you got to see the abilities of this ship, its starship trait, how it works with overwhelm emitters, and then the pursuit mode. I use it, but I don't really feel or see the benefits of it. So I do use it. I used it a few times in that STF, and I've used it a lot in the past, but I don't really feel the benefit from it when I do use it. Maybe it's there, maybe it is doing something for me, but it seems to be, at least on feel, it seems to be minor, because I don't really, it's not a game-changing feature. I enable it, but it doesn't like change everything for me. I guess the next thing left to do is for us to go do an Argala patrol in Delta Quadrant and take a look at the features a little bit slower and see what we can see. The first group of enemy, I'll use the overwhelm emitters, and I'll use the radiation from the overwhelm emitter, and show you guys that. And then on a bigger group, when we get another spawn, I'll use the pursuit, try to get a lot of enemies around me and see if that makes a difference. And those are really the only two abilities of the ship, other than just the fact that it's just an awesome ship. Anyway, so let's, on this first group, let's use the overwhelm emitters, and I'll show you the radiation. So there's that. There's the radiation, see? See all the radiation? Oh, look at that lovely radiation.
Target shields have failed.
That is cool. Now I will use the pursuit mode on a larger group. We'll see if that makes a difference. So there they are over there. Hit super pursuit mode.
Warning. Ship under attack. Target shields have failed.
Is it making a difference? I don't know. It's hard to tell, really. See, it's real hard to tell if that pursuit mode is really making a difference.
Target shields have failed.
That was fun. Alright, I'm going to use the pursuit mode again, but this time, let's see if I can leave the stats menu open somehow, and let's see if, like, my critical chance and severity goes up. My turn rate should increase as well. Let's try it. Yeah, I guess my turn rate increased because I used that ability. My critical chance and stuff hasn't gone up. My accuracy went up. Oh, there is it changing? Yeah, okay, it is going up. It is going up. But not by huge amounts. Not by huge amounts.
Warning, ship is under attack. Warning, ship is under attack.
Well, there you go. It's a lot of fun. This ship is just a lot of fun. Let's see, what else can we do? Because this thing is just fun. I'm having just fun playing it. I know what I'll do. I'll pause the video now, and what I will do is see if maybe there's a CPA or something like that going on. You know, the counterpoint or whatever, the new Terran STF. Something that's a little tougher. And it'd be nice to really put the screws to this ship and, you know, just show you guys hardcore how awesome it is. So I think that's what I'll do, is I'll just pause the video until I can find a CPA, do that, and like record that. And I may not talk a lot through it because I want to concentrate and play it well. It's hard to talk and play well at the same time, so I usually can't do the best of either one at trying at the same time. But so I'll probably like just be quiet during it and play it as best as I can. But in that way, you will get to see this ship, you know, as good as I can show you anyway. But I'll do that. I'll pause the video. I'll do a CPA, and then we will summarize at the end of that all about this ship. So stay tuned for that. Okay, welcome back everybody. So we got CPA going, Counterpoint Advanced. This is the Terran Empire STF. This should be a very good test of our ship here, so I can't wait to try this out. Hopefully this will be a good run. You never know, but hopefully this will be. I'm probably not going to speak a lot during this STF because I just want to concentrate on it and do my best, and it's always hard when my attention is divided to do that. So I'm going to just play through this. I'm going to use all the abilities of my ship, so you guys will get to see that. You know what I should have done? You know what I should have done? I should have gone ahead and retraded my other space traits to show you what it's like when you have some other traits going, but I guess it's too late now, so never mind. We won't do that. Oh well, anyway. It should still be okay. What is that? Is somebody flying a Borg cube? Holy crap. That's weird. It's kind of bugged there. Well, that first part went really well.
Thank you.
Now the next part starts. Close portals and keep station healthy. Bada bing, bada boom. It's been a while since I played this STF, actually. Coolness. We didn't get 5, I don't think.
They're breaking off. We have...
Oh well. Okay, next part.
Lower your defenses and surrender! conquered everyone else in our reality.
Rear shields failing.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! The Emperor face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Hull integrity below 75%. Hull integrity below 50%.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! You face the wrath of the Terran Empire! We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! You face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Target's shield has failed.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! You face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Target's shield has failed.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! You face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Hull integrity below 75%. Warning, ship is under attack.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! Face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Target's shield has failed. Right shield failed. Hull integrity below 75%. Right shield failing. Target's shield has failed.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs! Repairs complete! You face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Nice. Ooh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Dreadnoughts.
Our reinforcements will put you in your place.
Dreadnoughts. Boy, I want that the Mobius temporal dreadnought. I want that so bad.
Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
We win.
You haven't seen the last of me! Terok Nor has been sent back to the mirror.
Not the worst. We didn't get all 5 portals closed, but otherwise,
Terok
not
Nor
bad.
has been sent back to.
So that was really cool, guys. So, yeah, that was a lot of action right there. And now you got to see this ship pretty much in current in-game content, current STF, that is in-game Terran Empire. Pretty big battle. One that can really test a ship's tankiness, because in an STF like this, the ability to stay alive is difficult, especially in an escort. Even if you do a lot of damage, your staying alive ability, you'll probably explode a lot. Because it's just a hard STF. They hit really hard in this one, and this is just the advanced version. But yeah, pretty difficult as far as current in-game material. So this is a good test of this ship here. Our Advanced Heavy Cruiser Escort. Getting my names all messed up. Advanced Heavy Cruiser Tier 6. So now let's summarize. My summary is thus. I love this ship. This is a great ship in this game. Even though it is based off of an older design, and in the history of Star Trek universe, an older ship, the Excelsior, all the way back to the 23rd century. This is, kind of based on that older design, but it is heavily updated, and if you're a fan of the Excelsior class, you will love this. You will just absolutely love this ship. It reminds you of that ship, and it is powerful enough to take on current in-game content in the game. Whereas if you were trying to use the Tier 5 retrofit Excelsior, it would be okay, but it wouldn't be the best. This is the best in that class right now. Anyway, I like this ship. It reminds me of that classic Excelsior. It's got the chops to work really well at in-game here. It has all the Tier 6 mastery abilities. The starship trait I find to be quite useful. Just remember, you have to use overwhelm emitters or aceton beam. You can use both of them. I don't have aceton beam on to show you how it works with that, but it would be the same way. But overwhelm emitters, I definitely recommend. It is a command ability, and as such, this ship can use command abilities, so that makes it more versatile in what powers you can use. And the pursuit mode, I have used it, but I don't find it all that game-breaking in terms of, must-have ability. But I guess it's doing its thing. I just don't feel that it's doing its thing. I guess if I were to check the numbers and the DPS on all that, it probably is working and helping me. It's just that I don't feel that or really notice that while I'm in combat. I notice the radiation damage from the overwhelm emitters more than I notice that one working. But anyway, it's there, it's doing its thing, so I suppose it's helping me. So those two abilities are pretty cool. And of course, now that I have that trait unlocked on this ship, on this character, I can use that starship trait on any starship that I want on this character. That the radiation with overwhelm emitters or aceton beam. I can use that trait now on any of my ships. So that is cool to have that trait available to me now. And then of course, honestly, I could live without that power there from the console. Although remember, it does give you a kinetic and all energy damage resistance and a flight speed and flight turn rate increase just by having it on, so it does have a passive ability. And then when you combine it with the transwarp computer, you get the hot pursuit, which does help, I guess. It gives you plus 15% direct energy weapon damage and a recharge time reduction on bridge officers, so I guess combined it is making a difference. I guess I would probably rather have it than not have it, but I just don't know that the actual pursuit mode when I hit it is actually doing anything that great for me. But maybe it is, and I just don't know it. Maybe it'd be a lot worse if I didn't have it, you know what I mean? So it is a thing, it's there. I wouldn't particularly buy this ship for that console, though. If you were just buying this ship to have the tactical maneuvering matrix, I wouldn't buy this ship just for that console. It's not enough in my opinion. But maybe it is for somebody else. I don't know. You know, it just depends on your build, I guess. Anyway, the ship as a whole, though, I like the stats on it. The hull strength is pretty good. It's pretty maneuverable for its size and the fact that it is a cruiser. It is pretty maneuverable. I love this ship. Yeah, it's a great ship. It's pretty versatile. You can use it in many different ways. I cannot rave enough about it. I have been a fan of the Excelsior class in Star Trek itself, the universe. I love the Excelsior class Enterprise B, as it was called. I loved that ship, and I like this newer version here in Star Trek Online. It's very cool. This could potentially be a ship that I would use indefinitely. If I were not switching out ships all the time and reviewing them, this could be a long-term ship that I would keep on a character and I would use forever and ever and ever until they come out with something even better, tier 7 ships or whatever. But this is definitely one of my more favorite ships in the game right now, this Resolute class, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. I thought that they wouldn't do that because the Excelsior kind of is an older ship. Why would they make a tier 6 version of it? I mean, but they did, so there you go. It's fun. It's a good ship. I recommend it. I'm happy about it. That's my review of it. Let us know in the comments if you fly this ship, how you like it, or if you plan to get it. I'd like to hear back about that because I quite like this ship. I don't see enough of them in game. I really, when I'm out here in Soul Space, I kind of like to look at what people are flying, the types of ships people are flying. I don't really see a lot of these out here, but it is a good ship, so I don't know why. Okay, well, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.